Thank you so much for the invitation, Dan. This is the first time that I'm reading at Sacred Grounds, and I'm overwhelmed with the folks that are showing up here reading their stuff, and I'm going to bring some of my own. So I am going to read from my first chapbook. I am going to read from the second chapbook, and then I will read some stuff that is not published yet. So here we go. Get home safe. I am a Black son. I ain't making no assumptions about making it home safe without incident, unless I stay at home. No guarantees there neither. Forgotten self-hate, remembered dismemberment, unrequited rage, burning my peace wick at both ends. The inner fires burn through flesh barriers like strange fruit on a barbecue. Back again to a real American, make America great again cookout. With Black lives, not all lives, spinning on spits, counting Facebook hits, like body blows filling body bags. Corporate media feed social media enough fear to starve a heart of empathy and love, while we gobble it down like Pavlov dogs. Hate has a picnic stoking the coals. Next piece. This is my favorite in this book. And this is about why this teacher was in the class, looking forward and looking towards the future with our babies in it. Teaching is an act of love. Teaching is an act of love when you are willing to lay in the gap so others can get across the bridge that is your back to the side that knows more. When you are willing to put aside your own thoughts to listen to the thoughts of the student that rarely speaks. Her thoughts are worth the time spent thinking them. Your listening intently inspires her to voice her thoughts. They are worthy of being spoken. Her words are worth being listened to. She will come to love her voice. Next piece. This piece is called At Dusk. It was inspired by sitting in a patio in Havana just around this time of day. The murmurings of the neighborhood, listening to una bulla, a cacophony of sounds, music, conversation, silverware against empty plates, the sound of content, full bellies. The same chattering sparrows recounting their day like no one is listening, only chirping, barking like dogs at the setting sun. What languages are we speaking? Dog, bird, tree, human, breeze, moto, en inglés, all in Spanish? No matter. The earth knows only that it's time for the stars to have their say. Next piece is coming out of this chapbook titled Black Calculus. The piece that has that title in it is called Negrojebra. Black Calculus number 1. How many faces must I wear to be safe in the eyes of those without the melanin, making us other? Do I smile with teeth, or will it be mistaken for a sneer? Do I have to walk in the middle of the street whistling Dixie, or can I walk on the same sidewalk asking myself, is it safe? Black calculus number 2. How hard do I have to work to be visible in your systems? Walking into the school system, I work twice as hard to be noticed, which makes me twice as smart and still invisible. I have to run 3 times as fast because I was born left behind at the back of the line because I will always be Black. Black calculus number 3. Where in the world can I be whole when your systems continue to measure me based on your flaws and standards? I never measure up. I am always reduced to simplest form, like numerators and denominators divided by a common factor. I am as human as you, and yet your patriarchy tells me, do as I say, not as I do. Black calculus number 4. A tsunami of variables, the non-white, the non-male, and the others, drowning in servitude, feeding the privileged, starving the others, barely surviving, while not others are thriving. Black calculus number 5. How do you reconcile abundance with a constant of inequity? Why does a wealth of resources never meet the needs of the greedy and never ever meet the needs of the needy? Black calculus number 6. Will my silence be mistaken for talking back? Will my success be the reason to change the results? Will I be listened to if I have the wrong accent? If I show too much passion, will I be misunderstood again? If I say no, will that be the reason to take the safety off? Will you be threatened if I look you in the eye without fear, or distrust me if I look away in disgust? Black calculus number 7. Do I fill out the profile describing my experience and favorite feature, or will a Black man fitting my description say all there is to know? How can I claim to be a proud American after I'm told to go back to where you came from? Do I dare ask, where's your birth certificate, pilgrim? Black calculus number 8. 2 expressions, looking for balance. An equation always in a state of inequalities. Greater than, less than, never equal to. Black calculus number 9. If 7 bullets ain't enough to kill a Black man, how can the excuse, I feared for my life, for murder by uniform not be valid? Black calculus number 10. If death by hanging and starving a race by involuntary sterilization doesn't eliminate the threat, when will the American Revolution revolt in my favor? Next piece. This is my favorite piece in this book. This is called Reciprocal to Love. Unconditional love has no quid pro quo, no tit for tat, no this for that, not heavy, but rooted in the marrow of our bone cells. Invent love as you go. How does a river build its banks looking for borders to flow inside of? Love given freely. Love reciprocal to love. Yields unyielding love. Overflowing never runs out. Never. Love demands always met because love is no demands. Love is always ready. Natural as breathing in, fingertips tingling, breathing out, no waiting to exhale. Love pouring out of pores, open to all in the circle, overlapping circles, surrounded by circles, hearts beating in a synchrony. Feels like a symphony, definitely synergy, when everyone feels it like gravity, drawn to unconditional love. Next piece. Now this piece in a book of love poems. Oh my gosh. This piece is called Stop. I'm doing my best to just stand there and don't move. The only thing I'm resisting is gravity. So I can just stand here and don't move. If I fall over and don't move at the same time, am I going to be resisting? If it's gravity, will I need wings to fly? If it's an arrest, gravity will win over my dead body. Next piece. This piece comes out of the the pandemic and staying at home and the life turning in a different way. This piece is called Ambivalence. The irony is that Gaia will continue to be Vedya, whether we see her or not, whether we are moved to tears or not. She is ambivalent to her beauty and glory, while we are humbled by her presence, aun su ausencia. She will still bless flowers with their scent, whether our noses catch a whiff on the wind or notice the breeze with a hint of qué sé yo. She will share her blues with the sky, from the darkest midnight blue to the blue that is translucent like the nearly still waters at the end of a wave. The miracle that we notice, that we are allowed to witness Gaia Mundo in her minute esplendor, is the blessing. The solitude of this quarantine has inspired visions of how it could be if we got out of our own way. These next pieces are coming out of the inventory that I haven't published yet, but it's moving in that direction. This piece is called A Mind in Touch with a Body. A body in touch with itself. A mind is not a body. A mind needs no body, needs no air, no blood, no feelings. A hand is a body until it is in touch with another hand. One hand teaches the other hand how to hold, to grasp, to caress. The other hand teaches one hand there is something to lift, something to pull, something to let go of. A foot is a body until it touches the ground, until it feels the weight of a body standing over it, until the ground with its gravity pushes against the sole of a foot a call from the body to support it. Finding balance in itself, flowing from heel to toes in concert with falling and the need for another foot, in contact, gravity, the ground, and a body. A heart is a body until it is filled with electricity, sparking across synapses, filling with blood and shock, mixing oxygen and food, energy to sustain a body in touch with itself. A heart is an empty sack until it becomes life in a body, in contact with another heart, in touch with another body, no longer an empty sack, contents pulsing to other parts of a body, now a heart longing for another heart. A mind is not a heart, never in a body. Next piece. This piece is only maybe tangential to the theme, but this might be a ghost of a student that would not be here unless they brought his village with them. This piece is called Marginalized Fringes. I'm being doubly redundant. Let me be the last one in the door. I thought was the front door, but when it closed behind me, became the back door. First one through, last one out. Last one in, first one out. Which am I? When a quota is met and the margins are filled, the back door, which used to be the front door, swings open. I'm the first one welcomed out to the fringes of the academic university system, to any remedial high school, city college, where I can get all A's if I really want to be successful. Dude didn't read the life memo that I was already successful. Recovering from a 3 strikes and you're out setback, to need only his signature to be readmitted to this Ivy League school. When he looked from the line where his signature was required back to my face, that's when he saw my whole village rise up behind and from under us, surrounding me and him both. Before his eyes, I became my whole tribe. There were no margins to be filled, only horizons in all directions to reach for. No loose ends, no fringes, only expanding edges. He could only sign the document. I knew his fear. I was going to bring in more. Just like when the scouts became the invaders, that became the victors, that told the lie, that became the truth, that became the history, as in the historical lie that is written is as make-believe nobility, greatness to return to. Generations of socialization, making it less than myth, making it harder than concrete to die for, patriotism. Signing the document, I know his fears. The lie twists like a scarf in the wind. Too much time spent defending it, trying to remember it. The last omitted fact, the truth stays the truth, whether it's remembered, a detail is left out, or forgotten entirely. Don't be afraid. When I settle in, I won't treat the inhabitants like a people whose past is forgotten, nor like a people whose future needs to be marginalized. I am nothing like the past you want us to forget. I am nothing like the future you want us to be afraid of. Peace.
Wow. Norm, you have a couple more minutes, so if you want to do a closer, or what do you want to do there, buddy?
In. I got another piece.
Good. Let's hear it.
This
I am
piece is
blown
called
away. So I love it. Thank you.
This piece is called How to Sustain Peace. Reasons to change, less faith in mind, more faith in chaos. Call it faith in life. Life is air in a breeze. No force, no direction to change. Fills the space with whispers. Offers the refuge from the noise. Mind fills the capacity. Impatient waiting on patience to go with the flow. Life is air in a hurricane. A force, has direction, fills space, no refuge to shelter, to wait life out. Resist its flow at your own peril. Mind tells us we are drowning if we hold our breath too long in the dark. Eyes open to a desert, no oasis in sight. Our mind tells us, demands that we choose the right direction to keep up or be left behind. Life has all directions to move forward in, like every instant, a big bang. Life has no place to go in a hurry, doesn't have to make a reservation to hold space. Life doesn't follow a roadmap with a blue star that marks a destination. Life doesn't demand a sequence of events to arrive at a better understanding. Now is frozen in time, only heat from friction, moment pushing past moment, squeezing through creases in time, porous barriers permeated by leaky logic, the kind that makes sense because it has to, when all it is chaos, called by its true name. That's my last piece. Thank
Okay,
you
let's hear.
again for this space
Oh,
and this time to stretch a little bit. Thank you so much.
Bravo!
yeah, there we go. I mean, just like let them hear it, ladies and gentlemen. It's like wow, wow. I mean,
Yay!
I I
Hey,
was
Norm! Yeah!
wow,
Awesome.
wow. I am so glad to have you here and have your voice reach this community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I haven't said, I think I said it before. If you were a teacher and you reached out like that image of stretching across so people could walk on your back like that, I mean, teaching, boy, I thank you for that. And
Definitely love.
yeah,
Definitely an act of love. Thank you.
yeah. You mean, like a friend of mine said, you don't do it for the money. So anyway,